Good evening. Good evening, everyone. Sorry for the delay. I know I said 5 o'clock last night. Wi-Fi issues. Wi-Fi issues. Hi, Raquel. Welcome. Welcome. So, I think I've got my Wi-Fi issues resolved for the time being. But so today is really open to questions. Open to questions. What career questions do you guys have? My name is Mike Gelman. I'm a career coach, and I manage a career coaching center within a Fortune 500 company, and I've coached a lot of employees and leaders. I've also worked in the nonprofit and government sectors as well. And if you want more information about me, you can go to my website, mikegelman.com. mikegelman.com. You can also like my Facebook author page. I'm the author of Pipe Dreams, 7 Pipelines of Career Success. And you can go to facebook.com/7pipelines, the number 7 pipelines. So facebook.com/7pipelines. And like the page, and there's these video replays on there. And some other resources as well. So I'll be adding to it over time. So, it's really open to any questions you have. Otherwise, I can ramble about a few things, but I'd like to give you guys the opportunity to ask any career questions you may have. Oh, that's a good question. Are you starting your own business, Raquel? Welcome, Mama Hans. You starting your own business? Hello. Yeah, when you're not making money yet, that's tough, isn't it? Hopefully you've got reserves. That's interesting because a few years ago you did. Yeah, I've been building my business on the side. So I have my regular day job. And you shut it. Oh, okay. So you're rebooting, right? Starting fresh. Yeah. Sometimes you got to do that. It's always nice if you have, some stream of income, different approach. Yeah, absolutely. If you have some stream of income, is always helpful, even if it's unrelated to what you're doing, because then you can make more rational decisions. But if you have savings or a loan, I mean, definitely being an entrepreneur or starting your own business is a big risk, a leap of faith, absolutely. And so one of the things I've been doing personally is I've just been going kind of the slow and go approach, and I'm grateful for that. So what I'm doing is I've been testing the waters and with my own coaching practice, and fortunately I have a job where I enjoy what I do, my day job, but I also have that entrepreneurial part of me. I guess I got that from my father. He's always been in business for himself, and so without cash it's hard. Cash is king. Cash is king. One of the things that I'm doing is I'm starting to form some alliances with some nonprofit organizations because I donate proceeds. Yeah, it is hard, isn't it? 1099 basis. Yeah. Okay, so you like that. Nice, Mama. Okay, and Coca, welcome. So, yeah, some of us like the freedom of that. Others, it's more difficult. So it's all personal choice. For me, I'm not at the point where I'm looking to take out loans or do my coaching full time. It's more of a part time, and I can be choosy that way and work with the clients that I want to work with. And how you doing tonight, Coca? Friday night. So in any event, yeah, that's tough when you don't have funds. So I mean, Small Business Administration is a great resource. I don't know if you've tapped into them. They have free mentorship. They also have very low to no interest loans for a while. You're welcome. That's my gift to you guys. If you want to call it a gift, I don't know. But actually able to end my regular day earlier today. So thank you for the hearts. I think I had like 5,000 hearts almost yesterday. A lot of strategy and struggle. You have to reinvent the business and evolve. Yeah. Yeah, I can share with you as an internal entrepreneur, like they're called entrepreneurs, right? I've always been an entrepreneur within a company and developing new enterprises or programs or product services, more not products so much, but more services within a company. And I mentioned at the beginning of this broadcast that I manage a career coaching center. Well, it wasn't easy. I started, that was my third attempt. I failed. I failed the first two times, if you want to call it a failure. I don't call it a failure. I call it a learning experience, but others might call it a failure. And the first time out, I assembled a team, and it was grassroots. We didn't have a budget. I got other people who were passionate about coaching within my company, and I was kind of driving it. But definitely we had a lot of talented peers, helping out. And we got this design, and we put in a lot of work, and then we weren't able to get a budget. We weren't able to get a budget. We couldn't get it approved. So we had the support of our director, but couldn't get it approved. So that got shelved, unfortunately. So then maybe a year or two later, I'm like, all right, let's try again, right? Reinvent. Right, Raquel? Reinvent. We're going to go a different approach this time. So we said, all right, let's design it so we don't need much of a budget. So we can do it low cost and charge the money back to our clients, like our internal clients, right? So we were smart. We designed it that way, and we had it worked out. We were a month away from implementing this coaching center concept, and my director turns to me and says, Mike, we can't launch it. We can't launch it. I told her, I said, well, is it the money? Because we've worked it out where we don't need a whole lot, And she just said, politically it wouldn't look good right now. It wouldn't be good because some other things going on in the organization, cash and checks, welcome. The other things going on in the organization, it just wouldn't look good. So it was what's called optics. It wouldn't look good. And I was so disappointed, and I was frustrated. I was feeling a lot of things at that point. I understood. I understood where she was coming from. But all that effort, I was like, crap. You solve one problem, and there's another one that pops up, right? The life of like an entrepreneur, right? Solve one problem, another one pops up. But you have to be resourceful. So at that point, I'll be honest, I just said, you know what, forget it. It wasn't meant to be. Wasn't meant to be. Long story short, a few years later, the company had restructured, and I had actually moved up to another location, and the need was still there. Employees were just craving this. They really need a place for career support. And so what I did is I got re-inspired, and I said, yet again, I think there's another way we can design this thing. There's another way we can design it. This time I got smart. I said, how about we pilot a program, a 5-month program. Welcome, LTC. How about we pilot this 5-month program, and it's going to have assessments. We're going to limit the enrollment. We're going to have officers come and speak. It really won't cost much money other than the cost of the assessments, and that'll be charged back to the departments. A very nominal fee, maybe food, and we'll meet twice a month. And in person, and then also virtual, using technology. And long story short, got the green light, made a go of it. It went really well. Fortunately. And after that test, if you will, I got the green light to develop a full-fledged career center. And so again, with the team that we had at the time, we went and designed that, and now it's been about 3 years. We just had our 3-year anniversary with the Career Center. Again, this is within a company. It's not the same, right? Not the same level of risk, I would say, as you may have, Raquel, right? When you're starting a new business. But what I'm trying to point out is some of the principles, right? So when the money's not there, how can you be creative? And so some of it's just partnerships, right? And that's the approach that I'm taking right now. I'm funding it out of my own pocket. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Sometimes it's not the right time or place. Yeah, you're ahead of things. That was a lesson I learned, right? It's like, okay, the need was there, it was legitimate, and so and but it just wasn't meant to be. And so what's the lessons learned? And one is, if you really believe in something, don't give up on it. You might get discouraged. I certainly did, but don't give up on it and be creative. Lola, welcome. So just kind of be creative. And I tried a business when I was in college. My parents had a wholesale company, and I bought these bears from them. They for colleges. They would put the logo. It's kind of silly. They had the logo for all these colleges like San Diego State, Michigan, you name it, whatever. Oh, 1 second here. Okay. Sorry, I had to block that one. So you're happy it didn't work. Okay, great. Glad you're in a better place. So I tried selling these little bear pins, right, in the dorms. And I had this business, and I set up like a table and a booth. I had a business setting up on the campus lawn, and trying to sell these things, and some other items too, college emblazoned, with a logo and stuff. I didn't get very far. To be honest, I didn't do well. I'm not much of the salesperson. That was never one of my strengths, but that was definitely an intro into that process. So again, I'm learning along with you, Raquel. I'm probably not the best one to ask. I would say in terms of entrepreneurship, although I have always been creating things. I've always been creating new programs, new services, things of that nature. And with my coaching practice, I've been doing that now, and it's word of mouth mostly. And just through a lot of my volunteer work that I do, I've made some good connections, and now there's some stuff that's coming to fruition. And it's a win-win. It's a win-win. It's a win for the nonprofit organization that will get some proceeds of my book sales, for example, and workshops that I'm going to start doing in the next couple months. I'm about 90% finished with a 2-day workshop based on my book. And so I'm starting with some of the nonprofits I care about. Yeah, branching out. Got to branch out. Pro photos. So tell me more about it. What about it? What do you take pictures of? Are they like portraits? Are they pets, sports? What do you do? Yeah, try things, see what works. I think that's what the best entrepreneurs do, is they don't dwell on what doesn't work. They just try a lot of stuff, see what works. My brother does that. I've watched him over the years. And, there's ups and downs. My father, the same thing, Oh, you do weddings, wedding photos? How's that been working? How's that been working? You like it? So what other... Training dogs for money. Ah, okay. Do you know my brother? Do you know Jeff? Yeah. I strongly... It's amazing what you can make money at, isn't it? Right? It's amazing what you can make money at, following your passion. I wholeheartedly believe that. There's a way to make money at stuff, there's a way to make money at anything, especially now in the internet age. On top of that, it's amazing. Yeah. So, it's kind of having faith in yourself. That's the biggest part. But also, I was, I'd like to mention that, success is a team sport. You don't have to do it all alone. Get your team of advisors, partner up if you're in the dog training business, right? Maybe partner up with an experienced dog trainer. Ask someone who's done it, right? And it sounds like you're doing that. If you're working with my brother and his training or coaching or whatever. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, think about the people who make money walking dogs, right? Since we're on the topic of pets or dogs. Isn't that awesome? You can make money just walking people's dogs. Awesome. You can make money if you like to, even things that some people might view as a weakness. Um, some people are really good at, some people love movies, right? Do you guys love movies? People make money critiquing movies. People make money critiquing food, going around a restaurant, right? People make money traveling. Other people pay, another company will pay for their travel, right? And they'll go and critique. Yeah, cooking for others. I mean, there's so many ways to make money. And so, the part about it is being creative, figuring out the how part, right? So if you're passionate about something, I like to advise people, don't worry at first about the how, just get working on it. And last night I was talking about taking action, 5 daily actions. They do. They pay you for a ton of things. It's astounding, right? It's astounding what you can get paid for. Heart and hustle, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, other questions. Other questions or comments? It's definitely, life's an experiment, isn't it? Life's one giant experiment, and one thing that I've learned is to talking about last night, not to beat yourself up. Yeah, people feel insecure, sure, um, but it can be hard, and that's where getting a mentor or getting some help can be useful. It can be useful. Okay. Well, thanks for joining. Thanks, Mama Hans. We'll see you on another broadcast. So, I lost my train of thought. What was I going to talk about? Anyway, we'll come back to it eventually. When it comes to launching your own business. I know, we were talking about business, and now I'm forgetting the point I was going to make. Anyway, it'll come back to me. How many mentors do I recommend? Uh, you don't have to stick with one, right? You don't have to stick with one. So, I mean, if you're going in business for yourself, you can certainly have one that's a business mentor of some sort. But at work, if I remember, you're like internal sales or something like that. So, you can have a mentor that's your personal growth kind of mentor. You can have one that's more finances, right? Maybe you want something for managing your finances. Another one that is looking after your fitness, different areas of your life. I mean, there's really no limit. Now, if you have your own business, it's always great to have a team of advisors. If you have people that have some of these different disciplines, right, that have been there, that know how to advise you, right? I mean, sometimes you have someone who's done it all, right, and that's fine. That's fine. So it's really, really personal. Like for me, the ideal, and actually I have another business idea I'm going to be developing later in the year if I can create the bandwidth for it, because I'm really passionate about it too. I used to do hospice work, and now I want to do some interviews with people who are terminally ill or maybe about terminally ill, and record them as a business. So it's something I used to do for free, and it would be paid for by people's insurance. And I didn't get paid. I did it for a hospice organization. But there's such a need out there, people who it's not covered. So stay tuned for that. But I already have in mind some advisors of people in my life that I've met. Someone that's like a marketing whiz, someone that's done hospice before, someone that's a financial guru, if you will. Who else? Yeah, so I'm kind of starting to line them up. Oh, and a video guy. right? And a video guy, a friend of mine who potentially, oh, he doesn't know yet though. He doesn't know yet about that, but he is starting to help me a little bit with this business. Yeah. So just something would be about, for me, it's important to have a life of meaning and purpose. So I'm not interested in making money on something that is frivolous. There's a lot of ways to do that. Yeah, there's a lot of ways to do that. So finding your passion, what's going to be meaningful to you, what kind of impact you want. And so one of the things for me when I work with leaders in companies, I talk to them about their legacy. What's the legacy that they want to leave, right? Because it goes again to kind of thinking about the future, thinking ahead, versus getting stuck in the here and now and the things. And so oftentimes a leader will be struggling with their team. Maybe they're missing deadlines. Maybe they're not performing up to expectations. Yeah, absolutely, Coca. And so how do you want people to view you? So when you're retired or when you pass away, how do you want people, what do you want them to be saying about you when you're gone? If you have kids, what do you want them to be saying or feeling about you, or significant other, and so I take people through different exercises to envision that. And then how do you live into that, right? How do you live? Stephen Covey, I don't know if you've ever read Stephen Covey, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, First Things First. He's got a lot of books, right? Well known. He passed away sadly about a year ago. I think about a year ago. His son, Stephen M.R. Covey, is kind of continuing his legacy and running his company. But Stephen Covey speaks a lot about that, right? Start with the end in mind. Well, it's the bigger end too. It's the bigger end. And, working your way backwards. So how do you want to be, and I like how he divides it into different roles, right? So for you as a friend, what do you want your legacy, or what do you want your reputation or your brand, if you will, to be as a friend, as a son, as a daughter, as a father, mother, as a business person, whatever it may be. And so you think about all that, and then you work yourself backwards. Well, if you want that to be your legacy, what do you need to do today, right? What are some things you can do today to start living into that, to make that a reality? So if you're someone, for example, welcome, Hannah. So if you're somebody that that's nagging all the time or yelling or shouting, what am I talking about? That's a great question, Hannah. No, I'm talking about legacy. I am a career coach. My name is Mike Gelman, and I've written Pipe Dreams, 7 Pipelines of Career Success, help people take charge of their career and manage their career effectively, or if you're making a career transition. You can find out more information about me on mikegelman.com, or go to facebook.com/7pipelines. And so I started doing these Periscopes just over a week ago now. And it's really, the intent of these Periscopes is to help people take charge of their careers, to help people who are feeling stuck in some fashion. Like a life coach. Yeah, I cover some of that. I'm really focused on the career coaching, but I do get into some of the life coaching stuff. So, for example, I'm not like a dating coach or anything like that. I'd refer you to someone else on that. I'm definitely not the dating coach. But yeah, what legacy will you leave personally and professionally? Yeah. So that's my strong point or passion. So, but I do get into some life coaching issues because, quite honestly, we're all whole beings, right? We're holistic. It's not as if, the whole philosophy of, when you go to work, you leave your personal life at home. that's a bunch of bunk in my mind. I mean, yeah, it's good that you can compartmentalize, but in reality, we're all whole people. Welcome, Max. We're all whole people. And so, one part of our lives affects the other. It really does. And so, yeah, it does. It ties into personal life. So, if you're asking, Hannah was asking, am I a life coach? Technically, no, but I guess someone might consider me that. I just did a radio interview the other day. They called me a life coach, and I just went with it. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm a life coach, but I don't promote myself that way because I do specialize in the careers and whatnot, and I think that's what I can offer the most. But certainly, yes, it is life. Your career is a part of your life. So with back to the legacy conversation. And I'm going to do a Periscope on vision, and I'm going to share with you. Yes, so one of my jobs, my day job, if you will, Hannah, is that I'm a career coach, among other things, within a Fortune 500 company, and I manage a career coaching center. I also facilitate succession planning meetings, which are meetings that leaders have when you're not in the room. Unless you're a manager, maybe you've been part of these meetings. And they're discussing the rising stars in the company, who might be slotted into certain positions, what are their strengths, what are their development needs, what are some action items development things that they would need to be ready to fill a particular position or set of positions. So I'm in the front row there listening, and I'm not only listening, I'm facilitating these discussions. I've been doing this for over 15 years now. And so I like to share that because, Hannah, share with me. I don't know what your business is, but, most employees aren't aware of what goes on. And so one of my goals is to share, kind of peel the curtains a little bit, kind of here's what goes on behind the scenes. Because, it shouldn't, you're still in school. Okay, great. So you have a leg up, if you listen to a few more of these broadcasts, you'll have a little bit of a leg up a bit, because part of legacy, and I talk about this in my book, I talk about your personal brand, right? Oh, you're in high school. Wow. You're in high school. What are you interested in? Are you interested in going to college? And what's your favorite subjects in high school? I'm curious. In high school, my favorite subject was human relations. You're trying to figure it out? Okay, you have time. That's fine. Welcome, Alex. You have time to figure that out. Hopefully you're not being pressured one way or another. I mean, that's common. But yeah, take a lot of different classes. Okay. Well, just take a lot of different classes, and, eventually you'll come across something. Or what you volunteer. Do you volunteer, Hannah? Oh, lots of pressure. Lots of pressure. What do your parents want you to be? Oh, at church. What are they pressuring you about? What direction are they pressuring you in? Oh, you're kidding. Okay. Not uncommon, though. Not uncommon. I was fortunate. My parent, Cabo or Angelica, welcome. So, you do lights and audio? Well, that's awesome. Do you like it? So you're like a sound engineer, lighting engineer, or stage. Maybe you do stage craft type stuff. Oh, well, pay attention to that, right? Maybe there's theater or something at your school. I don't know. Do you have theater? You can do some stage productions, or an AV club. We had an AV club at my school. I remember in 6th grade, I had a teacher who produced cable shows in her spare time. That was her part-time gig. Not at your school? Okay. And all right. Well, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, Hannah. We'll see you another time. So we had to make videos. We had to make videos, and I did mine on the homeless. So my dad was driving me. I'll just make a little diversion here. It's not. I guess I'll tie it back into legacy somehow for you because I have a passion for nonprofits. So this is kind of where things started showing up, right? With this AV project in sixth grade. I'm like, what am I going to do it on? I want to do it on the homeless. And so I had my theme song, right? It was Phil Collins or Genesis. I don't know if he did it under his own label or under Genesis. Lonely Man in the Corner. Do you guys know that song? Welcome, Jay. Welcome, Jay. I know we've had some new people. I'm Mike Gelman. I'm a career coach. And we're talking about legacy, and I'm making a little... you're from Canada. All right. All right. Yeah, if you guys always share, like, where are you guys from? Raquel, where are you from? So it would be great to know. I think, Coca, you're DC? Am I mistaken? From Ottawa? Oh, that's great. I have a friend in Quebec/Ottawa. He's like right on the border there. I love that area. It's great. And in fact, I took my son, I have a 12-year-old son, I took my son to Toronto. It's kind of far a little bit, probably from where you are. But took him to Niagara Falls. That was a great trip. That was a really awesome trip. So yeah, we did this AV project in sixth grade. Yeah, 5 hours, a long time. So we did this AV project, and my father, Austin, Texas. You live in Brazil. Nice. Wow, I'm impressed. How long have you lived there? Long time. So did this AV project. My father's driving me around in downtown Cleveland. And he'd drive me around, and I'd be taking pictures of homeless individuals around there because I was trying to make this video to go. It was a slideshow. Ultimately, what I created was a slideshow. So I had slide film at the time. You don't need to use that nowadays, right? That was then. And then I synced it up, right? I synced it up with the slides, with the music, and it turned out pretty good, but that was an indicator that I was interested in people and helping others, right? What does a career coach do? I do a number of things. One, I help people who are feeling stuck in their careers get unstuck. I help people get clarity around what they're passionate about. I help people identify potential career choices or career options that they have and get a direction. I help people identify steps that they can take to move in that direction. I can also help people choose majors, right? You're in high school, and so I have assessments that I use with some people, personality assessments, career assessments, leadership assessments. So my background is organizational psychology and business. Organizational psychology, and I have a business background as well, but my graduate degree is in organizational psychology, and what that is it's a blend of psychology, but it's applied psychology. So I don't have patients, if you will, like the clinical psychologist. I don't do therapy. But what I provide is coaching and help people take action towards their goals. And figure out what is it I want to do, or if you're mid-career and you're burned out, I help you make that shift. Or if you have some blind spots, right? And this ties into legacy. If you have some blind spots, some things that you've been applying for jobs within your company or for new jobs, and you're not. What do you do? Yeah. If you really need some intensive help, just go to my Facebook page and I do some coaching. I'm not trying to sell my coaching services here, but do I work for a school? No, I'm independent. I work for a Fortune 500 company. Welcome, being honest. I work for a Fortune 500 company, and I do career coaching for the company's employees and leaders. I do leadership coaching, help leaders become more effective leaders. Employees like that because they benefit, right? They benefit when their leaders are being more effective. And so, but I also have a private coaching practice that I've started on part-time. So it's something I do a little bit on the side. Eventually I'll, maybe do that a lot more. But for now, I'm happy with it just being kind of a part-time part-time thing. But so I do coaching in those different domains, and I also volunteer for for a local nonprofit and doing some coaching. I've coached ex-felons who are in like a transition home, helping them to re-enter it, and also for no church. I haven't volunteered. I mean, I volunteer at a temple, but not in the coaching capacity. There's a social services organization that provides career development services to nonprofits, and so yes, what do I charge? I can share you the ballpark, but I really customize it based on it. So I mean, basically, about $350 a month is what I charge, and no, I'm not Catholic. So I charge about $350 a month or so, and again, it's we can talk offline about it. That this Periscope's not really intended to talk about my paid coaching services. Really, this is more my public service, if you will, to all of you. So I'm Jewish. So in any event, if you're curious about it, you can go to MikeYelman.com and you can contact me through there, and we can discuss that if you like. Or you can go to Facebook.com/7 Pipelines. I have replays of these videos. You can listen to some of these videos I've done in the past week. You might find some answers there for what you're looking for. And I've also done some blog posts and some articles, so you'll find that on between my website and my Facebook author page, and so you might find some resources there. So I do practice, but in all honesty, I'm not going to respond to any more religion questions. No disrespect at all, right? I know you're just curious, and that's fine. But this is really intended to be focused on careers, and so I really don't want to take up the time about my faith, but I mean, that's fine. Thank you for asking the question. Again, these Periscopes are new for me, so I'm kind of making up the rules as I go. But I really want to keep it, closely tied to career. I'll share some personal stuff. That's fine. That's fair game. And welcome, Coca. Thanks for asking and being curious about it. And but yeah, I'd like to keep it reasonably close to that. But I don't want to discourage you guys from asking questions either. So I'm kind of learning as we go along what works for me, and kind of going by my gut. There's been some people on these Periscopes. Pretty well, thank you. Yeah, there's been some wild people on these Periscopes that have taken things down an interesting path that wasn't appropriate. I'm not saying what you asked was inappropriate. It wasn't. But I'm just being mindful. That's all. Yeah. I've learned how to block them. I wasn't too quick to block some of them at first, and sometimes I don't understand why people want to spend their time just spewing negative stuff. Again, surround yourself by positive people, right? Surround yourself by positive people. So, welcome, Dave. Welcome. So, life's too short, right? Right, Jays fan? Life's too short to surround yourself with toxic people or negative. We don't need to respond to that. Yeah, good to have you on, Dave. Is your mom watching? No, you got your mom with you. So we've been talking about legacy. And so, what the heck? Why wait? I'll share a little bit. I'll give you guys a teaser. So for me, I'm going to share with you my vision board. All right, you guys get the benefit of the vision board. I'm not going to get too deep into it tonight, in all honesty, but just to show you guys a glimpse. I'm a big fan of. Believe me, I can get really pie in the sky, right? I've learned how to bring things down a little bit to make things real. So I'm going to do that right now. So bear with me. I'm probably going to have to rotate this camera. Well, let's see here. I'm going to rotate it for you here. Double tap to flip. Aha. Okay, so Let's see if I can get this in frame. Okay, so this gives you a glimpse. It's a little fuzzy. Let's see if I can hold this steady here. Can you guys see it okay? You guys see it okay? A little fuzzy. So this is one example of a vision board, okay? And I made this on my computer. I basically went, Google Images, except for the picture in the middle. That's me. That's my own picture. And same with the book in the upper right. And so these represent different goals, okay? They represent different goals. And this is for me. I never really intended to share it, but I'm sharing it with you guys. And in all honesty, it's good to share your vision because sometimes people can help you make that a reality, right? And so I've become a little more courageous in doing that. And yeah, I deserve this future, Oh yeah, it does. It helps to maintain your focus. Now this isn't as much legacy. This is more kind of goals, right? And so, welcome, Ken. So we're talking about legacy. And so you can tell me what you see. What are you curious about as you're looking at this? Why don't we do it that way? What are you curious? Water ski. So water skiing represents fun, okay, for me. So I do want to water ski more. I learned how to water ski. I water skied in college. Kind of. Can you imagine? I went to San Diego State, and we had an elective PE course. You can get academic credit to learn how to water ski. That wild or what? You can get academic credit to water ski. I took sailing. I took water skiing. I took I don't remember what else. It was awesome. So the thing is, I have a vision as well. Yeah, I have a vision as well. So the thing is, yeah, and she doesn't have to look like that. That's like the woman of my dreams, if you will. I'm pretty open-minded. She doesn't have to look like that, but I had to pick a picture. And I thought, okay, she's cute. So act as if I deserve this future. So I'll zoom in here and give you a scroll. And so what this represents is for me, I'm looking to find, a life partner. That would be great. I'm looking for that. It doesn't have to look like her. But again, it represents for me of having a life partner. So yes, yeah, I'm a single dad. So in any event, that's what that corner represents, right? And then someone asked about the water. I'll go back to the water skiing. This corner here, I'm just going to focus on this corner. Adriana Lima? Oh, is she? I didn't know she was famous. I pulled it off of like Google Images. Adriana, oh wow, she's really famous, huh? Go figure. Go figure. Oh, that's wild. That's pretty wild. Super famous. It was just like a random picture I saw. It's so funny. So funny. Thanks for pointing that out. I had no idea. Cool. You guys are teaching me. Everyone knows her in Brazil? Okay. Everyone knows her in Brazil. So, yeah, I will. I'm going to Google her later. I have to learn about her. That'll be pretty wild, huh? That'll be pretty wild. So the bottom right corner represents fun. Water skiing, to do more of it. I do live near the water. And I do more concerts, right? So I have the Rolling Stones there. It just represents having more fun activities because it's easy to get bogged down. The Rolling Stones, that's Mick Jagger there. Mick Jagger. And so, I'll go in a little closer here for you. Okay. So we're talking about a vision board for people in having a food. Raquel, that's not only healthy food. You know what that represents? That represents me learning how to cook more. That represents me learning how to cook more. Yeah, I eat better. I eat fairly healthy. So one of my goals, so I have a separate document with like goals related to each of these areas. I have breakthrough goals and I have regular goals. They're very concrete. I have dates assigned to them, when to achieve them by, right? So as an example with the cooking, that's like a lamb something or another. which is like one of my favorite meals. I want to learn how to cook that meal. In fact, I've learned how to cook lamb now, and I've cooked it twice. I have a goal to learn 25 new recipes. Well, thanks for joining, Jays fan. 25 new recipes within the next year and a half by June of 2017. I've already done 13 in the last 4 months. And I'm learning. It takes me 2 to 3 times longer to make it, as the recipe book says, though. So that's the challenge. That's the challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and... Oh, no, you guys still there? All right. I'm going to go back. So the picture on top, which picture? Of the house? Was a picture of the house is that what you're referring to? Oh no, it's a house. Does it look like a city? It's pretty big. It's a craftsman style home. I love architecture, and it's in Laguna Beach actually. And I live near Laguna. I don't live in Laguna. All the homes there cost $1 million. There's one home under $1 million there. I can't afford that. Not now, but that's my dream. That's my dream home. I don't need a big home, actually. I live pretty simply. I'm not big into material things, but I like it would be nice to have a cool home by the beach. That's a dream. And so you got to hold on to the vision. I don't know how it's going to happen, but hey, someday I think it will. And it doesn't have to be Laguna Beach. There's a couple other places in Southern California and San Diego that I like. And, and so again, for me, I like the wood, and I like I just like it. So again, it's a dream home kind of thing. So, you just gotta have faith. I don't know how. Jack Canfield talks about it too a lot. And, don't worry about the how. Focus on what it is you want. The thing is with the images, 10,000, oh yeah, good question. That's my goal, to sell 10,000 books, 10,000 Pipe Dreams books in the next, well, is it by June? By June of this year. I've got a long ways to go on that. I've sold a bunch. I've given away a lot of books. I've sold a bunch, but I guess I can be too generous. I give away a lot of books, which I actually get a lot of satisfaction out of that. So I'm trying to figure that piece out. How do I sell like a ton of books, right? Like in bulk. And I kind of know how. I kind of have some ideas. I just haven't had the time to do the follow-up. Like reach out to companies, and they could use it for employees, for new employee orientation, universities, for college professors could use it for their classes as assignment. It's missing. It's missing in the business schools. They don't teach you this stuff, how to manage your career effectively. I get into that. I get into your personal branding and what do the superstars do at work to manage their career successfully. It's really a big gap, and I would love to get into that. So, if you guys have any ideas, feel free to share or email me through my website or my author page, whatever. But again, I haven't had the time, unfortunately, to do what I need to do to achieve that goal at this point. But I'm confident I'll achieve it. I just don't know how or when exactly. So that's what that represents. And then you saw the pipe of money. Well, the book Pipe Dreams is based on a metaphor, pipe metaphor. And so that's my goal, is to have just revenue, money pouring in, which will help me with the lower left goal. You saw Pipe Dreams Foundation. There was a man giving a check to a child representing scholarships. So one of my goals is to get a foundation set up this year, and a Pipe Dreams Foundation. So stay tuned on that. I want to have like a foundation based on character development, youth development. I've done some of that volunteer work, and I want to create a foundation and put some of my own money into it, try to bring in some other donations as well, and help to fund some of these scholarships. It could be for first generation college students. It could be for we'll see how it evolves, but that's a place to start. So and I would love to be able to create more free time for myself too. So I'm looking at ways to have other sources of income. So some of these visions are 5-year visions, like 2020. So the house, for example, is a 2020 goal, if you will. The what else? The concerts is like now, like concerts or water skiing, or like the fun part is now. It's like, start doing that, incorporate it into my more of it into my life. So I've been going to the theater lately, so that's been fun. Seen some Broadway plays. I'm like, I don't like to spend a lot, but I said, I enjoy it. It's kind of enriching, so it's a nice way to treat myself. It's part of the I deserve this part. Usually I've kind of just gotten by and settled and like, what, invest in it. Have some fun, have some fun. So the beach scene was kind of being my gratitude for, that's actually a picture that I took, that beach scene. It's one of my places I like to go to fill me up. I'll go on like a Saturday and just hang out. I'll bring a journal, I'll bring a book, I'll bring my music. I'll just hang out, I'll just hang out and just, it's kind of my solitary place. So that just represents kind of that aspect. But yeah, so some of these goals are a couple years out, 1 year out, a couple years. Some of them are 5. But that's the vision of the life that I'm looking to build, right? So there's goals, concrete goals behind that. And so when you're talking about, how do you want to experience your life? That's one aspect, right? Kind of touching off of last night's conversation around goals. But another aspect is, how do I want to be experiencing my life? How do I want others to experience me? Right? How do I want others to experience me? And that's not on here. And I actually have that on another document. I'll show that another evening. But I actually have my intentions for 2016. And I basically have 5 areas that I've identified for, they're pseudo goals. They're not goals. They're basically how I want to show up. How do I want to show up this year, right? And impact others, right? How do I want to show up? Like one of them, for example, is connections. Connect. So I've actually started doing that, connecting with friends and acquaintances, reconnecting with those that I haven't talked to in a while. On a pretty big scale. I've done a lot of outreach, meeting with people for lunch or coffee or just chatting on the phone. These periscopes, right? This is a way to connect with you guys, connect with new people. So that's an intention, and there's some action, I'm taking to live into that, right? More than I had been, right? So I'll share that another night if you guys are interested. Intentions. Well, we can do a periscope on intentions, and how does that play in? What's the difference between intentions and goals and attention? Right? What are some of the distinctions between each of those, and how does it fit together? And how does that fit into your goals? And how does that fit into your vision? Right? Your vision for your life. Your vision for your life, and your ultimately the legacy, right? It all ties in. So in that way, Hannah was asking, am I a life coach? Yeah. Now this is kind of life coaching, if you will. I do have a tendency to focus on careers, though, in particular. But I don't mind sharing my own stuff. I hopefully you can grab a nugget or two out of it. Other people create a vision board and I've used this with some clients. We bring in magazines. Magazines, the kind lying around. You guys, if you have a subscription or doctor's office or whatever, you cut out pictures or words. Cut out pictures and words. Get a poster board, whatever size, and start gluing it on. Create your own vision board. You can do it with your kids. I haven't done it with my son yet, but I'd like to do that at some point. It's very powerful because goals are good, written goals, but What science has discovered, neuroscience, right? Some of the research with neuroscience is that images uh, help feed into your subconscious that much more. If you have a strong image, so when you have a goal, like at night, I review my goals every night. I review my goals in each of those 7 areas every night. And while I'm doing that, I'm closing my eyes and I'm thinking of an image. I'm playing a movie, all right, a picture or a movie in my mind of what that is looking like. And that helps to really ingrain it into your subconscious and starts to get you moving towards it. And it helps with your mood as well. So there's a lot of neuroscience behind this. There's a third leg to that, emotion. So not only think about repeating the phrase, the goal in your mind, and the visual, but what's the feeling you have? Like put yourself there as if you're there. What's the feeling you're experiencing? Are you feeling excited? Are you feeling joy? Like with my book, I've got an image, for example, when I reached that 10,001 goal of selling the books. It sounds totally silly. I don't mind sharing it with you, but it's kind of silly. I've got this vision. You know those big posters that they have with the banners or they'll blow up like a picture? It might be crepe paper or a banner of some sort. Like football players will run through it at the beginning of a game. They smash through it. So I've got this thing of like this giant picture, the front page of my book, you know, about 10 feet high and with 10,000 plus emblazoned on it. And I'm hosting a party, right? I'm hosting a success party or something, a celebration with my closest friends and family and colleagues. And I'm just like coming in and like punching right through it, right? Punching right through it with my son. He's got a smaller version. And we're just celebrating, you know. It's just a visual. It's something to get you, yeah, after the marathon, exactly. You know, breaking the tape. Again, what it does is between the repeating the concrete goal, having the visual image, and the emotion with it, catalyzes that happening to fruition. It helps you manifest your goals. So definitely written goals versus just keeping in your head is a strong point. If you do nothing else, write down your goals. If you do nothing else, that makes it more real. It makes it more real, and you're more likely to be accountable to those goals. So thank you for all the hearts. A lot of hearts tonight. So I'm going to pause. What questions do you guys have? I've been ranting for a little bit. It's probably time to wrap up a little bit. I noticed my periscopes have been going long. Do other periscopes you follow, are they this long? Periscopes have been going for like an hour. To me, it seems a little too long. You guys can give me feedback if you think it's too long. You know, if someone's going to be listening to a replay that's an hour long, I don't know. Like the idea of the board? Great. Lewis, welcome. Welcome. So we're fielding questions right now. Any career questions that you have, or if you have more questions about the vision, my vision board, or goals, you know, feel free. He does do some, yeah. Yeah, I listen to some of them in the morning when I'm getting ready for work, so I'm 3 hours behind. Some of them come on too early, though. They come on at like 5 in the morning for me, which is too early. So I listen to some of them. Not as interesting or informative. What isn't as interesting or informative? Being an hour long? Coca, what's not as interesting or informative? So thank you. So questions? Comments? Yeah. I'll try to think about what to talk about tomorrow. What are here? Okay, so we've got some new people. Welcome, Lewis. So I'm a career coach, and I coach within a Fortune 500 company. Help people find their careers. How you doing? Help people find their careers, what they're passionate about. If they're feeling stuck, I help them get unstuck and move towards what they want, so they feel more satisfied with their career. Or if they're looking to try to develop more mastery in their current job. I'm there as a coach. Just like you have athletes, right? You have track. The Olympics is coming up. Every Olympic athlete has a coach, right? They're already awesome, but they have a coach. So it doesn't matter how awesome you are, you can have a coach. And so I love coaching high performers. I have a passion for people that are really motivated to succeed and whatnot. And so I also have a private coaching practice as well, and I'm the author of Pipe Dreams, 7 Pipelines of Career Success. If you want to learn more about me, you can go to MikeGelman.com, MikeGelman.com. You can also go to Facebook.com/7 Pipelines. If you like this, if you're getting value out of this, please share this with others, people on your Twitter, people on your LinkedIn, people on your Facebook. Feel free to share that, because my goal, I want to help people. I don't, that are feeling stuck and whatnot, and just share my experiences. I don't mind. I do not proclaim, Lewis. I don't proclaim to be like perfect or the quote unquote expert per se. I think I have some expertise, but I don't claim to be the quote unquote expert. I do have some life experience. I have coached a lot of people in different situations at all stages of their career, early in their career. In fact, I've got some recent conversations. I've got people who are seniors who want to talk to me. They're retired or recently or about to retire. And they say, Mike, we need you. Because when we retire, we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do with our lives. Right? You retire and now you're home with your significant other, and your significant other's not used to having you around. They want you out of the house. They want you out of the house. It's like, get out of here. I want to lead my own life. So I've worked a lot with seniors, not in a coaching capacity, but when I was doing hospice work. That was some pretty deep work. I'm not doing it right now, but sure enough, I will pick it up again. I did that for 2 years. And people, 6 months or less to live, so they're terminally ill, cancer, or some other illness. And I'd sit with them, I'd hear their stories, things of that nature. So welcome, Fahad. So I'd sit with them, and I learned a lot of things from them. Talk about perspective, right? When people are on their deathbed, you really learn what's important in life. You really learn what's important in life. And so the things that we tend to worry about and get hung up on, I don't like to waste time. I love that. That's cute. I love that. Welcome, Fahad. So it's helped me, and it helps my clients, right? And it helps my clients to focus on the important stuff in life. That's why I'm very big on the vision and the legacy. And even if it's not what you're doing now, that's fine. That's the catalyst for you. That's the catalyst to move into that, to live into the life you want to lead, right? So it's okay if you're flawed, right? We're all flawed in some way. We all have flaws. We can all get better. That's fine. Acknowledge it, own it, and be committed to improve. Right? That's why, continual learning and developing yourself is so important. And it is for me. It is for me. So, welcome. So, yeah, tell me about Lady Gaga. Yeah, she's really good at reinventing herself. Tell me about Lady Gaga. I know, she's going to be doing the Super Bowl, isn't she? Be doing the Super Bowl. It's probably a dream for singers to be singing at this. Okay. That's why I use my blocking powers. See, I get lured in sometimes. There's kind of some innocent things, and then they get comments like that, right? Kind of profanities and whatnot. So again, that's not my thing. I'm not into that type of thing. So there's places where those individuals can go for that, right? So in any event, I think that's all I have. Do you guys have any other comments or questions? I'll hang on for a little while longer. I am going to need to get going in a little bit, but I can take a few more minutes if you have any other comments or questions or ideas, like what you'd like me to do a Periscope on next, like tomorrow. Tomorrow I will probably do my Periscope Let's see. Have evening plans. Yeah, I might do it around 5 o'clock again. I don't know how many of you will be around, but I'll do 5 o'clock on a Saturday. Um, so, what are your thoughts? What's on your mind? You'll be on it? Okay, great. Great. Be glad to have you on it. Love having you guys on. Love having you guys on. I'd love to learn more about you guys too. So, kind of what you guys do and where you're living. You shared some tonight, so that's great. That's great. Love learning more about you and whatnot. So, are we finished for tonight? I think we're finished for tonight. Do Periscope on the retired people? Okay. Tomorrow, I'm going to aim for 5. I'm going to aim for 5. And, I'm going to really do my best to alternate. Like weekends is easier for me to do earlier Periscopes. Are you on the East Coast? Are you on the East Coast? Or in some other country, right? We've got Ottawa. We've got Ottawa on the line. And we've got Brazil, right? What's the time difference with Brazil? Raquel? Like, how far ahead of California are you? Do you know? I'll have to look that up. It's 12:28 in the morning, so it's 6:28 here. So you're 6 hours. You're 6 hours ahead. Wow, you're a night owl. You're a night owl, aren't you? No questions? Oh, great, great, Coca. Thank you. I'm a night owl too, but and you work at night. So you do your dog training in the evenings? 6:20. Oh, so are you 6:28? So where are you, Lewis? Are you in California? Or like Nevada or Arizona? I think Arizona on your website. Oh, on your website and video. So you do videos as well, Raquel? You do periscopes and stuff? So you work with the dogs. Okay. Santa Clarita. Okay. So Northern Cal. All right. Cool. I'll have to follow you and listen to some of your periscopes to follow you. That'll be interesting to see some of yours. So in any event, love Santa Clarita. It's 5:30, Fahad. 5:30 a.m. And where are you? Are you in Hawaii? You in Hawaii or Japan maybe? Japan's I think further. I think Hawaii is 3 hours behind California time. So it's 5:30 a.m. Where are you dialing in from? So in any event, yeah. So I'll mix it up a little bit. 9 o'clock seems to work well. A lot of night from Saudi Arabia. Okay, welcome. Wow, cool. We literally have people around the globe tonight. Welcome, welcome. Have you been in Saudi Arabia your whole life? Yeah. Around the globe. I can say this is a global broadcast now officially. You have. Okay. Great. So in any event, Saudi girl. Okay. What is your name? Is it Fahad or it says BN Fahad? I don't know what I should call you. And I want to be respectful too. I'll try to remember it. I should start writing some stuff down so I can remember everyone's names. So, Garam. Is that how you pronounce it? Or Garam? Garam? I'll say Garam, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. Hopefully that's close. Fahad is your father's name. Okay. Welcome. So how did you find this broadcast? Are you looking at some career issues? Oh, I got it. All right. Cool. Garam. Awesome. So you're struggling with your career? How to advance your career? Yeah. So I'll be talking a little bit more about that in my other broadcasts, and yeah, we could do a Periscope on getting promoted or negotiating for a raise or negotiating for a title change, like a promotion, things like that. Particularly if you work within a company right now. If you work inside of a company, that's really my sweet spot. But I certainly can advise people on some job search things as well. If you're out of work and you're looking, I've kind of used my own things, and I do help others with their job search. Particularly, I actually worked with homeless veterans. But I love veterans in the sense of um, helping them, and I mean pretty much a lot of different individuals. So I don't focus in on any particular groups of people, but just people who are committed to their own career and motivated. That's really the bottom line for me. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. And you guys have been awesome tonight. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for the questions. Share my vision board with you. Hopefully, there's something of value there. I would love to hear you guys kind of to hear that you create your own vision board, and started writing down your own goals. I'd love to share that on a future Periscope if you've done that. That would be great. Or feel free to share with me on my website. You can email me through there. We can find a way to connect, or on my Facebook author page. I'm gonna have some cool stuff on my website eventually, and my Facebook author page, so that we can kind of share examples with each other. Because I think that always helps to have different ideas of what can be done. And there's some things that can be really, really complicated, but they don't need to be. They don't need to be. And so with my vision board, I said, you know what? Just gonna do the pictures, copy and paste, right? And I look at it every night. I've got it tacked up above my desk, and I've also got a copy next to my bed, my dresser. So I keep a copy there along with my goals, and I look at that every night. Again, it's just feeding my brain constantly that this is what I'm aiming for. This is what I'm aiming for. And it keeps me motivated, it keeps me positive, keeps me future focused. Right, Raquel? Last night we were talking about don't focus on the negative, don't focus on what you don't have and what you don't like. We want to focus on what we do like and what we want, what we're trying to bring into our lives. Focus on what you want to bring into your life, and focus your attention there, and that's what you're going to get more of, right? That's what you're going to get more of. It's a positive self-fulfilling prophecy, right? If you focus on the negative stuff, you tend to bring more of that. It's a negative self-fulfilling prophecy, right? You want to make that dynamic work for you in your favor. So create a positive self-fulfilling prophecy by keeping your mind and heart filled with the positive thoughts and what your goals and dreams are. And again, it's not always a direct route. You might not always know the how. All you have to do is see what the next step is, right? Kind of like a giant staircase. You don't have to see the top of the stairs. I think Martin Luther King had a quote, something around that. You don't have to see the top of the stairs. You just have to see the next step or two in front of you, right? And you just take step by step, and eventually it's going to lead you there. That staircase is going up. It's going to lead you there, right? And so that's the same thing with your dreams and whatnot. And that's all you can do. And sometimes you get some major progress, and you do multiple steps, and you get some momentum, right? And things become more clear. They're not as murky, right? And so, again, that's all about working it. You got to work it, and nothing's going to just come to you necessarily. Very few things in life will just come to you. There's usually some preparation you've done to position yourself for that. Preparation meets opportunity, right? Okay, so that's it for tonight. Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you tomorrow night, any of you that come on. I'm going to shoot for 5 o'clock. And I don't know what I'm going to talk about yet. I guess we can talk about seniors. But we'll figure that out tomorrow night. All right, have a great night. Hold on to your dreams.